Students, you may be seated. That light makes it hard to see your faces, but I can see most of you, and thank you so much for being here today. My name is Shelly Gourlay, and I'm the director of the Sports Product Management Program at the University of Oregon. We're a part of the Lundquist College of Business. It is my pleasure to welcome you here today on behalf of our founders, Dr. Roger Best, who's right over here, and Dr. Ellen Schmidt-Devlin, who is in Istanbul today, and on behalf of the SPM faculty, staff, students, and alumni. Today we are gathered to celebrate the accomplishments of 30 incredibly resilient, dedicated, talented, and resourceful people who persevered through 21 months of distance learning to earn a Master of Science in Sports Product Management. They did this while working full-time and enduring a global pandemic that has reshaped society in countless ways, as we all know. Because this program is based on a remote learning model, these graduating students live all over the country, and one lives in Shanghai. Not every student was able to attend this commencement ceremony in person. So at the end of the program, as we're conferring degrees, listen for the names of graduating students who could not be here in person today. We know that being part of a team or a cohort does not mean you have to be in the same room, right? Yeah. You will hear from students today who were selected by their classmates to share their thoughts on this important day. We will also take time to celebrate the accomplishments of teams and individuals whom our faculty have selected for delivering extraordinary work. And finally, we have the honor of hearing from our inspirational keynote speaker, U.S. Olympic medalist, Raevyn Rogers. Woo! It's an exciting day for us. It's exciting because this group of students has not been able to gather together even as often as we had planned because of the pandemic. So whenever we get to be together is a special time. Thank you for being here to celebrate our students. We know, and they know, that they could not have done this without the support of family, friends, mentors, instructors, and coworkers these last 2 years. To our graduating students, we are so proud of you. See, I'm going to cry. I told you there's going to be tears today. We are so proud of you. And so excited to see the impact that you will make on the sports product industry. You are truly extraordinary. Now let's get on with the fun. I have to do the thing that I told Emily I was going to do. You're going to hear from our first student speaker today, Emily Fetault. Please give her a hand.
Good afternoon, everyone. Like Shelly said, my name is Emily. Although it does feel weird to not start a conversation with you all by saying, "Can everyone see my screen?" It's what online school does to you. Riddle me this. What does this fabulous group of 30 graduates, who represent all ages, genders, demographics, and locations, have in common? It's more than you think. Throughout the past 21 months, as we have gathered via Zoom in a pandemic world, all we knew of each other in the beginning came courtesy of the small tiles we shared nightly. These snapshots acted as a window into just one corner of everyone's lives, growing in depth and complexity with every passing class. In the absence of face-to-face contact, we searched for more clues about who we all were and where we came from. We became more observant and found ways to connect across the Zoom divide, detecting any sudden shift in someone's environment. Did you change rooms? Was there a different color behind someone? Wasn't there a crooked map on the ceiling there the other day? And whose precious little face is now sharing that screen with you? This sense of familiarity went beyond what we could see in our individual square domains, providing us a window into the depths of each other's passions. While at first that knowledge was more surface level, Nick and Josh's love for Chelsea football, Caroline's passion for Taco Bell, Andrew's stellar DJ skills, or Robin's strong preference for 5-inch running shorts. With every passing class, it became more and more obvious what united us: a shared passion for this industry and a determination to make it our life's work. I know where I am. I often make fun of myself for filling any of the dead air during class. While I do have an innate disdain for awkward silence, it's more that this field of study is something I really care about and have a passion for. So filling that space is not an obligation to me, but more an opportunity to pursue just one more bit of insight into whatever it is we are covering at the moment. And as we moved through each term, going from human physiology, product development, green materials, sourcing, marketing, and so on, you could hear, and if it's possible via Zoom, even feel that same passion in all of us. You could tell when we leaned in or our voices got more animated when discussing certain topics. For some, that passion and excitement came from properly identifying the midsole heel overlay component on a shoe, or looking back at a perfectly color-blocked CAD. For some of us, it might be knowing that your debits and credits are perfectly balanced, but I think most of us will leave that one to Professor Raevyn. Whatever it is, we are lucky enough to have the opportunity to make it our livelihood. And not just because we spent the last so many nights getting this master's degree, but because it is something we have worked for, have reached for time and time again. Something we might not have even known we wanted until the right opportunity slapped us across the face. You never know where passion might come from, but when you find and identify its source, why not try and fill multiple corners of your life with it? Why not make your favorite conversation topic also your 9 to 5? There's often those who will say, work shouldn't be fun. That's why they call it work. But I have never subscribed to that belief. I prefer the quote by Mark Anthony, "If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life." To me, work is the intersection of what you love to do, what you are passionate about, what challenges you, and what brings out your best. For us, this job, this industry, it's more than just a paycheck. It's a passion. I'm not here to say that the money doesn't matter, because of course we all graduate today with not just a degree, but also some debt. What I mean is that we did not pursue a degree in sports product management because we knew coming out of graduation we would all make a specific industry standard salary like some other career paths. We all thought long and hard about choosing this option, going to online school full-time on top of our day-to-day lives. And when we decided to jump in and commit to this program, it was not to pursue that paycheck, but rather it was because whatever we were doing before, while it put food on the table, it didn't necessarily feed our spirit. Each of us here has a different why that brought us to enroll in this program. For some, this industry has been a dream long unfulfilled, and this degree a promising stepping stone. For others, it might be a more recent interest, or even a complete about-face from previous work. Regardless of how we got here, we all have a responsibility to hold on to that passion that brought us to the table originally, to ensure we bring that with us wherever we go, all the while inspiring others every step of the way to do the same. Never take the product for granted, and never minimize your role in bringing it from brief to box. The creative process ends in something tangible, something we can touch and smell and admire. That's part of the real beauty of this type of work. We get to see the results, wear the results, play in the results. Talk about that job with benefits. And finally, remember that collaboration and creativity have been the cornerstone of this program, and we are its ambassadors. The work we do comes back here to Oregon. Let's make sure employers and colleagues use us as a benchmark for all future hires. This room is filled with leaders, of that I have no doubt. So I look to all of you to ensure that that passion continues to ignite our inspiration, that our creativity fuels the industry, and that our collaborative spirit motivates us all to bring out the best of ourselves each and every day. I wanted to wrap by saying thank you to the entire SPM administration, staff, and professors for helping us all chase and achieve our wildest dreams. You are all second to none, and I tip my cap to you for all the late nights, last-minute meetings, and advice given along the way. And finally, thank you to my fellow classmates. I couldn't imagine going through this program with anyone else, and I don't think I would have had nearly as good a time if it wasn't with this crazy, talented group of product-passionate people. So congrats to the class of 2022. It has been my distinct pleasure to serve as your mayor.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Phoebe Coleman, and thank you for joining us today. It's so exciting to have so much of our cohort here, as well as all of our supporting family and friends. I know it means so much to all of us to have you here with us. I have the great honor of introducing the recipient of our cohort's faculty award, Meg Dreyer. Meg instructs a truly phenomenal design thinking course, which really was the birthplace for many of the projects we worked on throughout the program. Design thinking is a tricky thing to teach, as the instructor must challenge her students to put aside their preconceived notions and opinions and empathize with others to truly understand their needs. Meg's hands-on teaching style and devotion to mentoring us through the design thinking process allowed us to get to the core of our consumers' why. Studying design thinking with Meg was a pivotal experience for me and many others in the program. A section that really resonated with me and that went above and beyond our professional work was called Designing Your Life, where Meg walked us through how to intentionally craft a fulfilling future. Meg gave us design thinking skills that we will continue to use for the rest of our careers, and maybe most importantly, for the rest of our lives. Unfortunately, Meg is unable to be with us today, but she has sent us a statement that she would like us to read. Congratulations to you all. I am deeply honored to be the recipient of this award. Teaching you was truly a pleasure. Your class is special in its engagement and hunger for knowledge, even when it felt uncomfortable and unfamiliar. I remember our days on Zoom, of course. Being with you was a bright spot in my experience of the pandemic, both because you were so real and honest about everything, and because it was inspiring to see and witness your dedication to yourselves, your jobs, your families, friends, and loved ones in a very, very challenging time. You are brave, you are persistent, and you are tough. But most of all, you are empathetic. You were kind when the world was not. You were curious when we were all shutting down. You were bold enough to say, not me, not now, and keep pursuing your dreams. You are a class I will always remember. In the most true sense, you are design thinkers, empathetic, tangible, and iterative. May the next chapter of your lives bring joy, wellness, and delightful surprises that bring you closer to those you create for and to one another. Thank you and be well. Love, Meg. So I hope you all can thank me in thanking her for exceptional teaching and contributions as an instructor for the SPMO program. Thank you.
Hi. I know that I was only voted to speak because my cohort thought I was going to talk about Taco Bell for 5 minutes, but the joke's on them. For those that don't know me or recognize me outside of a computer screen, I'm Greiner. Now, I'm the crazy person who has taken 2 new jobs, moved across the country twice, and lived in 3 different time zones during this program. As you can imagine, I've heard the "I don't know how you" phrase a lot in my life. I don't know how you live in New York. I don't know how you're going to leave New York. I don't know how you're going back to school. I don't know how you're going to do that for that long. I don't know how you're going to do that at all. And truthfully, on hard days, I could find myself agreeing, doubting myself. But most of the time, I really can't imagine living any other way. And when I think about each of you, I know that you've had these same moments. Because for the past 2 years, we've gone to school while working, while moving, while parenting, while dating, while planning a wedding, while traveling, while in a pandemic. And so today, I'm here to remind you that your capacity is greater than you realize. I came into the SPMO program, like everyone else, for career growth. I figured I'd like at least half of the cohort and maybe make a few friends. but I can't explain how in 21 months over Zoom, with less than a week together in person, I feel like I have formed 30 real relationships. I was pleasantly surprised to find a girl who lived only 2 miles away from me in Brooklyn just before I moved away, now a true friend. And I definitely didn't expect that one of my best friends in the program was going to be a sneaker-obsessed playboy from Florida. We all had friends before entering this program, but I know that my life has been made richer with the addition of each of you. You have the capacity for more. In EBJ's class on product development, she taught us to ask for and be open to feedback. Throughout the program, we've received a lot, some good, some contradictory, some that made us question our approach altogether. I admittedly prefer feedback when it is positive, but growth happens when areas that need improvement are brought to light. We all have the capacity for correction, and so I challenge you to invite those in your circles who you trust and respect to offer it. A violin needs tension in order to make the chords sound right, so don't shy away from the tension that will sharpen you as a person and within your career. You have the capacity to improve. Throughout this program, we've benefited from the experiences, knowledge, connections, and time of our professors, guest lecturers, and mentors. Our cohort benefited from having Mayor Emily as the spokeswoman of our group and the icebreaker in every class. Our families shared us with our studies for hours each week. Some had to share a little more, depending on how long group Zoom calls would last, and if they would stay on topic, or if they had Drew, Robin, and Corey in their group, who could talk about anything for any amount of time. Sorry, say their family. Everyone in this room has sacrificed in some way, but no matter what it was, it has ultimately landed us all here together today, wearing these robes. Generosity does not have to be a monetary price tag, although I hope that when it does, and if you can afford it, you offer it. But generosity can also be given in time, in words of encouragement, in patience, and in gratefulness. Be like Andrew Downs, hyping up people in the group chat. You have the capacity to give. This journey is not smooth, easy, or direct. Although we are all graduating together, we are not on the same schedules. Your success may not be in line with anyone else's in this room, but it is coming. You are ambitious. Don't limit yourself because you don't think you can. We have, and we will. We dealt with Carlos's passion and desire for heated debates, EBJ cold calling on us, and 2 terms of swatch kits. Your success may look different from everyone else's in this room, and that's okay too. Define it yourself, remove comparison, and chase your dreams. You have the capacity for greatness. Sometimes it's easier to see the capacity of others instead of your own, and so before we all go our separate ways, I want to affirm that you have the same great capacity as the person sitting next to you. Maybe it's obvious, but you also have the capacity to learn more. Don't stop now just because the grading is done or the job is secured. Find new ways to challenge yourself, new ideas to discover, and let your opinions change. After all, as John Wooden said, it's what you learn after you know it all that counts. Thanks, and go Ducks.
Thank you. I'm Roger Best, co-founder of the program, and I wish Ellen could be here, but she's taller and more commanding. I just want to share with you that it will be 10 years this September that Ellen and I sat down together to conceive this idea of this program. And while we sat at Starbucks on Northwest 23rd, we kind of had a vision of what it might look like, but we both agreed on one thing. If it didn't have a product experience, it wasn't going to really matter. Another textbook class, a master's degree, a book learning, which is great, essential, but it had to have a tangible aspect of making. And the only way you can make it is to touch the product. And what you've done as a group, and every group that's come through, including yours, start out with a blank piece of paper. And basically 3 or 4 other people you didn't know. It doesn't get more difficult than that. And you probably don't even agree on what you're going to do. And now we're going to commit 21 months to doing it. That's a pretty tall task. I'll have to say the most gratifying thing about this program is what you as teams have produced. I'm a product person, and the idea of taking classes and doing case studies is great, but the products that you create, the innovativeness, the spirit of innovation, the leadership you've created in working with teams can't be replaced. And I want to point out to Krista and Greg who are here, the importance part of the lab. I know you didn't get the full benefit, but let's just give them a round of applause for their contribution. I also want to point out that I went through a similar program for my MBA. I was working at General Electric as an engineer, working full-time. In my case, it took me 30 months, 2.5 years. I was a little slower than you guys. But in the end, I found out two things became more apparent. A, upon graduating, I didn't realize how much I learned because it was happening so fast, and it was happening in maybe not fast for me to absorb it. So I want to now also congratulate all our instructors. If you please, give them a hand. In many cases, it might not be until 3, 4, in my case for accounting, it was 10 years later they pulled out my accounting book and found what exactly I needed in a very difficult consulting project. Every one of your classes counted. You might not have liked them all the same, but they all made an imprint, and they're all part of this innovation process. Because without any one of them, or these instructors that brought such great real-world experiences to you, you would not be walking out the door with this collective experience and potential. The last point I want to make is that when I finished my situation at the evening program for my MBA, I realized I needed to make a change. And don't be afraid not to make that change. You've invested. And when I went in and told my manager at General Electric, who had promoted me to a product manager that I was leaving, it wasn't easy. And he said, "Roger, why do you want to leave?" I said, "I'm not challenged here enough." He said, "Oh, we can fix that." I knew they couldn't. Their culture was never going to be what I wanted. So I had to risk a great job, a great potential, a great company, and walk away with no idea where I was going. But it all turned out in the end. So I encourage you to reflect on how much you've learned about the creative process and product innovation, and think about your next step more seriously, and don't miss that opportunity. Thank you. And at this point, I'd like to announce the award winner for the Innovation Award, and that will go to Team Wolf.
Please come up, Team Wolf. Okay. Please take a picture. You can take a picture now, and then I would love it if Christian would say something. All right.
To be honest, I don't know what to say, but this is just pretty cool because when I got to apply for school, one of the things that I really wanted to do was to change what goalkeeper gloves look like. And I don't know how I managed to convince these 3 people to join me on that crazy adventure, and to see it reflected now is crazy. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate this a lot, and my team does too.
Hello, everyone. My name is Burt Brown. To the UOSBM faculty and staff, to all of the family, friends, mentors, distinguished guests in the crowd here today and those watching online, and most importantly, to my brothers and sisters, the class of 2022, I'd like to say it is an honor to be here with you today. I promise to keep my remarks short out of respect for everyone's time, but time is the very subject I want to speak with you about today. We're all born with a finite amount of time on this planet, and what we do in that amount of time that we have can reverberate through eons. And it is up to us to make the most of the time that we are blessed with on this planet. That being said, many would say that time is the most precious commodity that we all have. And so it would be very easy for all of us here in this cohort today, and even some of you in the crowd, to say that you don't have the time to do something because you would rather spend your time or allocate your time to something else, something that means so much more to you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But personally, here today, I am so honored to be amongst this group that have said that they would take the time and do what it takes to reach out and grab something that was greater than they could have ever imagined. They would put the time in and put the effort in to attain a master's degree, taking 21 months in the midst of a pandemic. You've heard it all before. But through all of that, we would make the commitment, we would make the sacrifice, we would make the courageous step to actually do that. And I am absolutely honored to have been in the arena with you fighting through these 21 months. We've had our highs and we've definitely had our lows, but we have all worked together and picked each other up to make sure that we strive to go forward and make sure that we are continuing to attain that goal. So I'd like to say, for anybody out there that may be sitting on the fence or wondering if you have what it takes to achieve your goal, if you have the time to achieve your goal, or you think that you might not be able to do it and there's that doubt creeping up in your head, I ask that you look at this cohort as an example and as proof positive that if you're willing to make the sacrifice, if you're willing to make the commitment, if you are courageous enough to make that step, that bold leap forward, you can achieve anything. Look at us as the example, because the time is now for you to do that. The time is now for you to write your verse in the Songbook of Humanity. The time is now for you to leave a crater as a lasting impact in the world, letting people know that you've made a positive impact. We are Team Crater. That's my squad. The time is now for you to look elsewhere instead of traditional ways of thinking, and to think outside of the box and bring fresh new ideas to the table. The time is now for us to reconvene with our pariahs and share with them our thoughts, our values, our ideals, and to leave that as a blueprint for all generations to follow on their path to greatness. The time is now for us to no longer think of ourselves as lone wolves in this journey in life, but to convene with our wolf pack, to show everyone that, yes, while we may be great as individuals, we can be even greater together, and that there's power in numbers. The time is now for us to spread our wings like cranes and take off, flying boldly into the future. A future that none of us should be afraid of, because here at the University of Oregon Sports Product Management Program, we are creating the future right here and right now. So I say go for it. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the class of 2022, I thank you for your time, because we all realize how precious that time is and just how valuable it is. And we appreciate you here joining us today to celebrate greatness and watching greatness in action. And we cannot wait to show you what else we can do in the future together. Thank you. Go Ducks.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Muir. I'd like to thank everybody in attendance today. So I'll be presenting the Nancy and Dave Petrone Entrepreneurship Award. Now, the Petrones have been generous supporters of the University of Oregon for many years now, and Dave is a UO alum, he's a donor, and he's always been a lifetime advocate. He went on to spend 2 decades with Wells Fargo as a vice chairman before elevating his own entrepreneurial spirit with the Housing Capital Company, as well as the Petrone Petrone Company. Nancy and Dave have contributed significantly to the UO academia and athletics because they're truly all about supporting the people within these programs. They have propelled innovation, curiosity, growth, and the student experience as a whole. Now, we've got an incredible and creative student in our program who truly embodies this excellence in entrepreneurship. They've been working on a top secret ice hockey stick that furthers the sustainable circularity efforts, alters our perception of when the product life cycle comes to an end, and we're all wishing them the best of luck in the final stages of patent approval. Without further ado, I'd like to call up Travis Eddy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you want to say something, Travis?
It's your call.
The team gives me a hard time because I'm the engineer and I'm a little more comfortable with innovation, and the program has really brought out a lot of things, and I credit these 29 other students here to open my mind and think differently and kind of have new opportunities coming in the sports industry. So this is something that's been pushed from all of you. Thank you very much for pushing me out of my comfort zone and pushing me into new opportunities. I look forward to where we go in the future.
Hey everybody, I am not Billy Kelly. I am a foot shorter and a few decades older. But Billy wanted to thank you. He was going to speak. He wanted to thank you for nominating him and trusting him to be a speaker today. He couldn't be here in person for a couple of reasons. Well, a main reason. But he wanted to send his love, send his support, and thank you for being teammates all along the way. He's dressed in his robe, he says, and he's watching virtually and participating with Paxton in his arms. So he wants to thank you very much and give him love into the camera. And now we'll go to the Karsten Tindal Leadership Award.
We could not be there today, but are honored to continue being part of the SPM family and present the 2022 Karsten Tindal Leadership Award. His legacy lives on through all of you. About 13 years ago, the Tindal family dedicated inscribed brick pavers for our family members, located in the College of Education, outside of the Headco building. Karsten was just finishing his sophomore year at Whittier College when the pavers were installed. And his reads, "He moves us by example, a son from Eugene." The Karsten Tindal Leadership Award in the Sports Product Management Program is about qualities that come from within. A leader is a person who is passionate in pursuit of goals, hard work, and willingness to collaborate with others. A leader is respectful and remains strong. Karsten not only had these attributes, but many more. He led with his generosity, always focused on the positives, acknowledged the strengths of others, and worked as a team player for the greater good. He moved us all by example, which made him a great leader.
Athlete, authentic, collaborative, curious, generous. These are the words chosen by Karsten's peers and colleagues to represent him, and these words are proudly worn on the KT logo as he continues to quietly lead us all. As an athlete and coach, KT was always part of a team, and he found his ultimate team through the SPM program where his strengths could shine. The SPM program brings out the best in its students, combining academics, fieldwork, and internships to build the foundation for success. This program helped define KT, and this award is aptly given to the student who exemplifies this leadership from within. A few words on this year's recipient of the Karsten Tindal Leadership Award. This student is described by his peers as the most personable, empathetic, and compassionate person on my team, the type of person willing to discuss life issues falling outside of school or our careers. He always found a way to show that he cared and could relate in his own way. He is level-headed, a great collaborator, and super kind. He works super hard with his family, work, and school. And he's always ready to pick something up where someone left off and be a team player.
The award goes to a good friend of Karsten who originally told him about the SPM program. The students of the 2022 SPM online program have elected Andrew Downs to receive the Karsten Tindal Leadership Award. Congratulations, Andrew.
As many of you know, I love the sound of my own voice, so of course I got to say something. Yeah, I knew Karsten. I actually coached him and went to high school with Karsten, and everything they said is true. He was like a genuine young man that just attracted people to him. So it's a bummer that he's no longer with us, but I feel that sometimes people have to be taken so that others can get maybe a spiritual awakening. Karsten told me about this program, or I might not be here. So that's one good thing that came from our relationship. This is not a me award. This is a we award, okay? I wouldn't be up here if it wasn't for all you guys. I just appreciate you letting me into your lives, even though sometimes I digged to find out what was going on. Sometimes I don't stop. So I just appreciate you guys. And dealing with all my music, whether you liked it or not. So I love you guys. Go Ducks, and Ducks fly together.
Greetings and salutations. I've always wanted to say that. My name is Jasmin Ray Francis, and I've been awarded with the honor and the privilege of introducing our commencement speaker this afternoon. This is a creme de la creme moment for the class of 2022. It is the pinnacle. And I'll admit, I never thought I'd be here on this stage, on the precipice of being awarded a master's degree. I kind of feel like I'm at the Grammys right now. No, better yet, this is our Grammys. Yeah, I really like how that sounds, but I think I like how this sounds better. This is our graduation Grammys. No SVJ. This is not trademarked yet, but I'm working on it. Of course, the Grammys wouldn't be complete without speeches, awards, and #1 hits. Please remember those 3 different things: speeches, awards, and #1 hits. Let's begin with my speech. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. He is why I am purposed. Secondly, hey, Nana, I made it. The matriarch of our family, born in 1938, still standing strong at 83 years old. You are my best friend. You are my light. I'm not crying, you're crying. You deserve all the flowers. Special shout out to my dad, who is here in the audience. Dad, can you please stand up? A little inside scoop. You could keep standing. A little inside scoop. Last night, I discovered some alarming news. That he now wears readers. I said, Dad, when do you start wearing readers? He said, well, recently, but the doctor said I had 20/20 vision. I said, yeah, but in what decade? As a military veteran, it was you who cultivated my insatiable appetite for learning and striving for excellence. I hope I continue making you proud. I love you. You deserve your flowers. Thank you. You can sit down now. On behalf of our cohort, thank you to all the friends and family who are streaming live with us right now on YouTube. We recognize we're still in a global pandemic, and we want to acknowledge you all. Uncle Ray, Ramika, Aunt Robin, Uncle Maestro, Aunt Roz, the Lees, you deserve your flowers. I want to also thank my mentor, Jillian Gideon. You've poured into me for the last 2 years, and you've treated me like family. You deserve your flowers. Lastly, thank you to my New Balance family and my manager, Karsten, for taking the chance on me. We often break bread on how we can bridge the gap for women in this industry. And while our greatest hits are still yet to come, you deserve your flowers. At our graduation Grammys, we are family, and we give flowers to them while they're still here. Next up, the awards. Let's give a round of applause to the class of 2022. We started and finished a vigorous master's degree program during a pandemic. It feels surreal, but as experienced professionals, many of us thought we'd never pursue graduate degrees, but the pandemic woke us up, gave us pause, and inspired us all to go after our passions. And there's still so much to learn. Case in point, when Erica emailed us about picking up our regalias, I had no idea what that was. So like a true Gen Yer, I first Googled the pronunciation. Regula, regalia, regalia. And then I moved on to the definition. The distinctive clothing worn and ornaments carried at formal occasions as an indication of status. Man, why couldn't y'all just call it a cap and gown? Life sure does humble you. Regalia. But we're getting our masters, and this is our graduation Grammys, after all. So a little flamboyance is called for. And while the tangible award is our degree, the intangible award and reward was the journey. To my cohort, excuse my French, but y'all did the damn thing. In the midst of pursuing our secondary degrees, we maintained full-time careers. We moved across the country to follow our dreams. We got married. We had infants. We raised toddlers. Shout out to you, Christian. We made it through some really tough classes with instructors that demanded excellence. You know who you are, EBJ. We fought, we laughed, we played. And we made it out alive, but better than before. We dropped some bangers. Each of you will forever be Billboard Top 10 in my eyes. The perfect beat over a tight melody. And you deserve your flowers. While the Billboard Top 10 is to be coveted, there can only be one number one on the charts. And at this graduation Grammys, would not be a graduation Grammys without hearing the greatest hits. And the University of Oregon is known for birthing them. Please allow me to get through a few more thoughts as I introduce the keynote speaker, Raevyn Rogers, a world-renowned Nike-sponsored track and field athlete and the 2020 Tokyo Olympics 800-meter bronze medalist. At the ripe age of 25, originally from Houston, Texas, Raevyn has already has had a career that is long and successful. At the age 5, she began running. By age 12, she began winning USA Track and Field National Junior Championships in both the 400 and 800 meter races. She still holds individual high school records in 200, 400, 800, and 1600 meters. For college, Raevyn would go on to attend and run track and field at the University of Oregon and matriculate greatness as a 6-time NCAA Division I champion and a 10-time All-American. And in 2017, Raevyn would win the Bowerman Award, the highest honor, and as the top women's collegiate track and field athlete in the country. Speaking of flowers, in 2020, UO would pay homage to her legacy by enshrining her face on a 10-story. I wasn't supposed to say that. I'm gonna keep it going. A 10-story Hayward Field tower that pays tribute to the University of Oregon's track and field icons. So her face is literally on a 10-story tower. Now that's gangster. Now, so all of this is what Google told me about Raevyn. And we all know how I feel about Google. Regalia. But Raevyn's greatest hits are way more than what meets the eye. She is only in her 4th year as a professional athlete. When speaking to her, this is what she told us she's most proud of. First, making her own path and embracing her creative side. She is so much more than an athlete. She graduated from University of Oregon with a degree in art and a minor in Spanish. She's actually fluent in Spanish. That's gangster too. She hopes to one day get her paintings in art galleries in the MoMA. Second, she's really proud of University of Oregon's impact on her life and also her impact on university, on us as well. This is her ideal of family, which is twofold. University of Oregon provided her with an education and a platform to become one of the best track and field athletes in the world. She also wants to continue to give back to the University of Oregon in ways that elevate others' platforms. For example, by giving our keynote commencement speech today, she is elevating our platform in recognition as a world-class degree program. Thank you, Roger Bess. Thirdly, and of course, most importantly, she's very proud of winning the bronze medal at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Like I said, that's gangsta and it's the graduation Grammys. She's number 1 on our charts. Just like us, her best is still yet to come. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Raevyn Rogers to the stage.
All right, gotta move this thing up. I'm not as official, like speaking kind as you guys are used to. This has been great. I'm like, this vocabulary is superb. I'm like, I really gotta take some notes, man. I'm gonna kind of come as like the cousin, the cousin at the family reunion that everybody can relate to, yeah. Thank you, SPM, for having me as the commencement speaker. Jenny has been telling people, just like Ellen does everybody, she made Raevyn come up here. But anything for Ellen, of course. And Roger, thank you for an amazing program. Yeah, you guys made it. Like, congratulations. This is huge. This is huge. Congratulations. When I was walking down the aisle, I'm like, I feel like I'm going a little too fast. I haven't done graduation in a while, but you guys are holding it down, and I'm super proud to have you guys part of the Duck family. So what would commencement be in a program that Ellen co-founded without me wearing Ellen's robe? And I showed up in a leather dress, wearing Ellen's robe, and also starting out with a quote from Bowerman. You guys know Bill Bowerman was Ellen's mentor, and Ellen is my mentor, my second mom, so this is just perfect. So I was Googling because I want to make sure I get this right, and I wanted to really start out with the "if you have a body, you're an athlete" quote. And that alone just will be able to kind of narrate our path and our journey, and just so much similarity that you'll hear with my story too, because you guys are athletes. And then I couldn't stop there because Google pulled up 3, and I was like, these are actually going to be valid too. And it says, there's no such thing as bad weather, just soft people. And we're just all out here in this amazing rainy day. And then, of course, this last one, victory is in having done your best. And you guys are victorious and resilient, and you guys have given your best, and that's why you're here. So a little bit about me. I also asked Jenny, I'm like, okay, so like, what's the vibes, you know? What's going on? What have you noticed with our group? And she says, okay, there's 30 people. So I'm like, ooh, okay, intimate, cool. And then she says, a lot of, them are, have families, and like, they may not have agreed. And I'm like, that's perfect. That's me too. Like, it's the same. I went to University of Oregon. My mom was not in agreement with me going all the way to Oregon. She was cool with me staying in Texas, but I had an aunt. Like, every family member has that one person in the family that challenges you. And she's like, Oregon is best of the best. I only want you going to the best. She knew about Prefontaine. She's obsessed. So the whole culture of winning is what University of Oregon is. And so Mom, I had to tell her and everything, and she accepted it because she knew it was best. But with that came sacrifice that I later on had to figure out on my own. Being that far away from home, it was an adjustment, not only time zone, going from Central to West Coast, and culture from Southern hospitality to vegan food. And that alone is an adjustment. But, just going away and really having to figure out life on my own. And with that came, like I said, having to balance, having to adjust to what was my new norm. But also with this expectation, not only that I put on myself, but also, if anybody knows Oregon track and field fans, they only want what's best. And that's, like I said, the Duck culture. We want what's best out of anybody that comes through Oregon. And with that expectation, that's a different level. And I had to really challenge myself to level up and really get right and make a difference and really prove to these people that, hey, I'm here to make a difference. I'm from the South. You guys may not know me on the West Coast, but I'm here to make my name big and staple in this Hayward dirt. Amazing dirt, great dirt, valuable dirt. And so with adjusting came mentorship. My relationship with Ellen, so I came in freshman year through the Summer Bridge program for athletes, and there were 3 tours. One was for product design, one was for marketing, and there was a third one. But the product design one, it was a visit to Adidas, Nike, and Columbia. The marketing one was towards like to Wyden or any, other, Wyden's holding it down alone. But when you see a list for product design, and then I had never been to these other campuses, and it's in fact the last time I've ever been to Adidas's campus. First and last. But it was on paper just really solid. So when I went on that tour to visit those campuses, and I finished that tour, and we'd seen so many panels and been in front of so many amazing people, and it was just an amazing day. We got back on the bus, and the person, our coordinator over the the athletic bringing together group, Katie, Harvard, sorry. She was, like, hey guys, make sure that you thank Ellen. So by the time she said thank Ellen, I had already written an email. I'm like, this lady is the Oprah of Oregon. Like, I need her in my life. I'm a freshman. I learned the Oregon lingo. I'm like, let's get coffee. By then I wasn't even a coffee addict. I'm like, let's get coffee, maybe a sandwich or something. And ever since then, she's just been this light in my life. And it's so good to see how that light is just shining through each of you in this program. That's a little side note. But since then, I didn't even know that Ellen was an 800 runner. I didn't know that she had ran track and was on the first women's team at University of Oregon. So beyond just who she was and the value that she held as an individual, building that relationship with her, spending Thanksgivings with her because I couldn't go home for Thanksgiving, it just really showed me not only what leadership is, but also the importance of mentorship and guidance. And then also, let alone just being an amazing human being and just seeing someone just pave the way for so many people. It was more of an experience for me in a different way to be that close to someone that powerful. So having Ellen along the journey as a freshman, I was able, like they said, to be the first woman, first person to not only do the 800 meters and be successful with the University of Oregon, but to consecutively win the 800 meters 3 times back to back to back each year, and then go into being professional at Nike going into my last year. And it became an adjustment. When I think about all these things, because I'm thinking while I'm talking, you just have to elevate. There's so many stairs that you have to climb to get to where you're trying to go. And it's almost like a reset every time you just reach the next step. And I feel like I've been most consistent because I've had Ellen on my side. And that's just a side note. I have these notes. I'm just thinking, and really wanting to share this kind of vulnerable moment with you guys. And so after University of Oregon and the impact that I left there, finishing on our Triple Crown win and making history with that, that's when I went pro, and another stepping stone of having to elevate and learn. And that led me into me getting second at World Championships going into my second year. And then we all experienced the pandemic, which set us all back. But that pandemic was a blessing for me because I was able to come to Portland and switch coaches, which led me into my Olympic bronze in 2021. I'm sure you can also tell I don't like talking about myself, so it's a little cringy, but bear with me. But all in all, I made a lot of points. I've spoken and hit on some notes about me, but the points I want to make is that being an art major and dealing with expectation, that was a new identity for me coming to Oregon. It was something that I had to adjust to and really kind of balance, not only having art as a balance for track and field, but just balance the constant pressures that we hold on ourselves as individuals. And then having that support with mentorship and leadership and guidance, and then that kind of contributing to, I'm sure, what all we can relate to of having mentors and support to go towards success. Into finally having a family. All in all, it's a cycle. The points are more clear on my notes, but it goes family, balance, mentorship, family. And the second part of family is your new family. This is the family that not only has invested and been along the journey and helped you realize things that you never knew about yourself and brought out qualities and invested qualities in yourself that you're able to carry on, but it comes back, where you're able to be mentors to so many others and really make a difference. In this room, it's just so much love, so much excitement, but so much creativity. And you guys as individuals, you know, hold on to that impact that Ellen has made on me. You know, really make a difference, and everything is, I mean, I'm sure the world of product is going to be beyond what we can ever imagine. So congratulations.
All right, are you all ready? The reason we took a little longer, there were some grades that had to come in. You all passed. It's all right. You made it. All right, so students, let's do this. Come on up and get your degrees. All right. All right.
Ready? Yep. So, students, please stand. Yep. All right.
That's
Okay.
music.
Yeah. Okay. Erica, there's supposed to be music. Pomp and circumstance is supposed to be.
There we go. I can line up. Carlos Barrios. Burt Brown. Robin Castro. Adil Ahmad Chaudhry. Jonathan Lewis Christian. Phoebe Rachel Coleman. Andrew Downs. Travis Greg Eddy. Christian Espitita Bentacor. Close. Emily Felto. Jasmin Ray Francis. Caroline Greiner. Ellie Hanasek. Dennis Lahola. Andrew Magaha. Nick Messina. Zifeng Mi. Michael Muir. Corey Vance Pitts. Russell Brian Rose. Carlin Suzanne Sacco. Troy Sather. Chesley Danielle Savage.
It worked. Thank you.
Rob Shiwi. Lauren Scherer. Joshua Sun. And of course, we have 4 graduates are not in attendance. Billy Kelly. Ewan Lamb. Cal Thomas Meyer. And Melissa Norwich.
So I have the privilege of closing out this wonderful ceremony. My name is Raevyn Clement. I'm the academic director of Sports Product Management Online, and I'm also, I teach accounting, and they all survived, so that's a good sign. And just a little bit about regalia, because this is one of my passions. With the undergraduate, you get the tassel, and then you move it from the right to the left when you've graduated. And you all should have it on the left because you all have undergraduate degrees. And the hood represents this advanced learning. And so you have demonstrated beyond what I could even imagine, dedication and you'll be able to actually apply what you've learned, and I'm really excited about it. So you all have hoods that represent that advanced learning. So anyway, I won't go into it more. I have to, I have my spiel for other graduations on this. So I would like you all to stand, please, and turn to our audience. There you go. And now it is my great pleasure to present to you the graduates of the Sports Product Management Master Online Program, Class of 2022. Congratulations. Congratulations. That's great. And so the recessional?
And now we will have the fight song and the recessional. Yes.
The fight?
And for the audience to know, we're going to have, don't worry, there are going to be some hat throwings and some pictures, but we have a wonderful photographer, Jack, who's going to help coordinate that. So if you want to hang out just a little bit, that's going to happen. And then we are going to have a toast. So,
That's
okay?
great.
So watch
So,
that.
so I'm going to turn this back over to you since I don't know what the order is.
Okay. All right. Can we start the fight song? Please feel free to remain seated or wander. It's up to you, but listen for a toast coming in a little bit, okay? All right, thanks everybody.